Hey guys, I'm RiggyRob. Welcome back to Disco Elysium. So, last time we were able to uncover a bit more of the jam mystery that Joyce asked us to look into. He said there were 3 drivers at the intersection and one of them must know something about the drug trade. Turns out it's probably the lady driver that we were able to break into after convincing Tommy to give her up, though Tommy is very unhappy with us now. So we have this as an option to go back to report to Joyce. And then we get the info from Joyce about the lynching. Now I said before, or at least I think I did, we don't want to get this info on the lynching without Kitsuragi, because Kitsuragi has gone to deliver the body back to the precinct. So we're kind of like playing for time a little bit. I would have thought it would be a good idea to go to my room and rest up for the evening, but I don't have enough money to do that. I have 12 real and I need 20 to do that. So, we've got a couple of options. We can try and do a few more tasks like this, so splitting a kilo with Kuno. Now that Kitsuragi is not here, doing less than legal stuff is probably a good idea. We can try and go to the balcony where the smoker was to see if they're in. Kitsuragi technically said we should do this tomorrow, but we can always try again today. And then there's, a few other things as well. Everard Claire we saw briefly, but again, I want to do that interrogation with Kitsuragi around. We asked Titus about the 8th Hardy Boy, the lady driver, and we just didn't get anything for it. And yeah, we can just keep going. At the end of the day, if I do, run out of things to try and do, I can always go to our case files and have some reading material. And I'm not sure how that actually will affect me in terms of, my health and morale, because technically, going to sleep heals your health and morale. But if I just stay up overnight, is there anything really bad about that? And I'm also just seeing a bench I can go on, so maybe I can sleep on the bench and take health or morale damage. So we'll see what we get as an option once I've made my way there.
You sit on the wind-worn wooden planks of the bench. Your feet ache.
Aha! So you do have the option to pass time if you, can't go to the room. Okay, so 15, 30, and an hour. Or get up. Well, I do think I've got more useful things to do than just sit around on a bench. I believe also... Well, since I am not going to get the room with Gart, or at least I don't have the money to yet, I might as well buy all the stuff from Sealang. Because I think that having as much, clothes that give bonuses to stats is a good idea. So we'll get the windbreaker. And we will get...
The speakers.
Oh, we can't get the speakers because they're 50. Sure, there's some clothes over here. The ugly glasses. Ooh, the shades of self-destruction. And the cool blue ones. There we go. So basically, we got 10 real from Sealing, and that just meant that those clothes were free. We spoke to Roy last time. I don't think we got anything majorly useful out of Roy. Having spent all that money, I now can't get the dice from the dice maker either. But while we're on that way, let's see if Plaisance has the bookstore open. Ooh, can I check the bin? Can I root around in the bin? Ah, there we go. Actually, that's a good point. I want to see how long does the fruit shop stay open for? Because the game says most people settle in for bed at around about 9, and most people will be asleep by 2. So I'm not sure whether this will update in real time. Anyway, so we got this.
The tin machine. Your bottles.
Ooh, £1.80. Sorry, 1 real 80 cents. I just default to £1.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with
So this gives +1, this gives +3, +1, +3. Okay. In terms of healing items, I'm fairly good for now. And I'll probably spend my real on the healing item when I'm desperate for them. Because, again, there's some conversations that can heal health and heal morale. But I just haven't, made full use of them. So what's
the
this?
dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito.
I've already patted it. And I don't want to kick it because that would just cause me damage. Alright, so the bookstore is closed, but we should be able to get to it from the other side. And while we're here, let's go ahead and equip flashlight. Go, that'll do. Alright, so yeah. So technically we don't need the fridge to be on anymore, but I'll leave it running for the time being. Forget what this was. Oh, it was the vent, wasn't it?
Layer of coal.
Okay. Don't need to kick it, because again, that just did health damage. We go up the stairs. Yeah, there we go. Most people settle for bed at 9 o'clock and not long after. We do also have this mystery game with the radio operator.
Still smoldering.
So press play.
Good evening. Please repeat.
We need a password for the production schedule.
Thank you.
Okay, so I don't have a password. That's something. I suppose the game will tell me if I obtain a password.
Slides over. Some of the writing has faded.
Oh, did I not look at this?
But you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Okay, let's inspect the drawing.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic.
Wax-based magic.
Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin. And even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space.
Sidereal space? I've never heard that. You hear ethereal all the time, but sidereal.
You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin.
Sure, drama.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
I don't care. Step back.
Your eyes glide over 4 sections of the imposing green chalkboard.
Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world.
Heal morale, please?
A pinned postcard reads, the heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe.
Inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Sounds like the beginnings of trying to implement agile working, and also the framework being called RUN, or RUN. Keep reading, what happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region. Looks like they didn't make it. A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, see the prod schedule filament for details.
Okay, so maybe I can take the filament out and inspect it further? Inspect the notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans. Call in, tune out. Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe.
Maybe Whirl Untethered is the password.
The full text reads, Heat Death of the Universe is the new black. Another note says, the biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise.
So I noticed this last time as well, but Shivers and Esprit de Corps tend to give me info that is completely separate to where I am physically. It's related in a way, but that is nothing that my senses should ever be able to know because it's outside of the physical building. I'm just interested to know. Anyway, let's leave. So, let's go and try and look at the production schedule filament.
Tiles on the cube.
So remove.
The filament slides out of it.
Leave. And item. So the filament is this. Cube-like crisscross of filaments feel oddly fragile in your hand. Its intricate structure covered in dust. Silvertape on the side reads production schedule note. This filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. So I can't actually interact with it because it doesn't show up in the interact list. Okay, well, let's put it back and see if
like a smooth
we
draw,
can do the
filament slides into place.
the password.
On the key,
What does print do
nothing
again?
happens.
Doesn't happen. Sorry.
The
Let's
speaker
play.
Good evening. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Alright, let's try the password for the production schedule.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Can you give me a hint?
Still no.
Okay, is it my birthday?
Still no.
Please.
I am contractually obliged.
Okay.
Now, can you please
And I don't know.
receive?
That sounds bad. A login attempt. Something a criminal would do. Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Tiles on the cube are
So I did try logging into the production schedule yesterday, Monday, I think.
The whole thing resembles K-Dra-
But this is a separate day, so I'm hoping at least one login a day is fine. And yes, the Whirl Untethered wasn't actually password, so I am assuming when I find the password, as logic says, it will be very obvious to me.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotorblades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
But the question is, which did they start with and which did they pivot to? What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad. That's just speculation, we don't know anything for sure. Which one did they pivot to?
That's a good question.
Okay, well, what a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad.
Reality is ruthless.
Okay, well, thanks for that conceptualization. Right, well, we know the dice maker is this way and up the stairs. I suppose I could just check quickly to see if anything has changed.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for
This
a
one
die?
locked. Shivers. Okay, so need to level up Shivers for this. So I just want to double check as well. If I go to my map, is Shivers listed as it is, okay, so it's listed as a check I can do on the map. So it doesn't say locked here, for example. So if I level up Shivers, I'll be able to try this again. And that's another thing that I guess I found out during the course of playing last time is generally you would want to leave white checks free and, you know, don't attempt them if you don't have a very good chance of passing them, because you can always come back later and give yourself stats in the form of alcohol or drugs or I guess even food or anything like that, and might be able to pass them the second time you come around, if they're still there, of course.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
See, this, I didn't have the high-performance weightlifting gloves before, but now I do. I've noticed the collars. It's an even 58% chance. I don't think I have anything in my inventory that is giving me a bonus in terms of physical instrument, unless it's still counting the... Oh, I think it is. Bonuses from items +2. So let's just have a look. Tools. Yes. So the alcohol gives me +1 physique, which applies to everything in my, well, the red list. So, okay. So I can try doing the legendary check later. The store on the other side is closed for the night. Come back tomorrow. But what if I want to be... Ooh. I was wondering as well, would I be able to try and break into the bookstore or be banging on the door and unintentionally be the curse that Plaisance was worried about? But I guess not. Okay. Alright, so we got a little bit out of that. Not a huge amount. But as it turns out, I can't go into the bookstore from that side. So we have to go all the way back out. So... Okay. Alright, let's have a look at our task list, seeing as we're outside. So what can we do and what do we want to do? So we can try and enter flat 12 to get Kuno's speed. I can also take down Kuno's dad, optional. Getting the speed would be fine. Taking down Kuno's dad might be better if Kitsuragi's around. Don't want to go back to Joyce until we got Kitsuragi. The apartment 10 for the cleaning lady. Smoke in the balcony, it is past 9 o'clock. This working firearm might take a while. I need to wash off the smell of death, but I can't get into the room because I don't have 20 real. I'm going to leave the interrogation of Everard for a little bit. The heraldic bird. Go read up on cockatoos. Maybe you discover something new about yourself. Prove authority. And let Morel know if you see his husband. And find speed. So these two are obviously... we'll do this one. Find your heraldic bird. So let's go ahead and make a save. And we shall begin our adventure into finding my heraldic bird. So, which one? Aha, here we go. A book about different cockatoo species and their behavioral problems. Perhaps it could also offer some insight into your own often problematic inaction. The spectacular major majestic cockatoo eyes you from the cover.
A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Fas a la Mer. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues.
Okay, what more?
This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts. The funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated.
Alright, what problems do these birds have?
Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. They love to talk, and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up.
I could handle that. It would be nice to have someone to talk to and feeling lonely. Who would ever want a chatty companion? I want someone who knows how to listen. No, to be fair, it's always nice to have someone else to bounce things off of when you're feeling a bit down. Yeah.
Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream non-stop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive.
Right, that's pretty bad. Anything else?
It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own.
Birds are fairly notoriously difficult pets to have, no matter what type of pet you have, no matter what type of bird you have. Okay, yes, but there has to be something great about cockatoos as well.
You're right. Cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels.
Actually deafening.
Ouch. That must hurt. Not great for the neighbors. Performing? Yes, birdie.
Read about the funeral cockatoo.
This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus venereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral, 24/7. There is something indisputably ominous about it.
Read about the major majestic cockatoo.
Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo, is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle. Its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species.
So I just noticed at the bottom right corner of the screen then, it was around 10:15, is now 10:30. So just the action of reading about this, cockatoo, made time progress quite a lot. Because usually a conversation only passes by a couple of minutes.
It must be glorious to behold, dark pink and snow white.
Read about the most common bang bang cockatoo.
Despite its banging name, the bang bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species, common in almost all Seminoles forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world. Its plumage is mainly grey and white. The Seminoles name bang bang is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins.
Honestly, this bird does sound a bit like me.
Yes, but all those cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you?
The grey and common bang bang, that's me. Only the funeral cockatoo in its darkness can truly grasp the depths of my doom-laden soul. Isn't that obvious? Major majestic, here I come. But what if I'm just a fuck-up or two? A fuck-up and a cockatoo? I have to take some time to think about it. I mean, personally, I think the common bang bang cockatoo would be the most appropriate. I can try and convince myself that I'm superstar cop and say I'm major majestic. This is again sorry cop, and this is kind of apocalyptic cop, but also emo cop in some ways. I have to keep thinking about apocalyptic cop is almost emo. I'm gonna go with this. I'm normal cop.
You're right. You're the mediocrity embodied. This unsung bird belongs on your heraldry.
Alright, so we got some XP for that. And the task is now complete. Okay. Oh, hello.
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away.
Well, this is a good zoom out because I don't think I can naturally zoom out this far on the map. But this would give you an excellent overview of the entire area.
The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting.
What am I doing?
Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hat.
What do I see?
Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world.
How does it feel?
Humid. Your coat shields you from the rain while the city shivers around you.
Okay, what's in the west?
Sheets of rain over the water, a flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinaise, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky.
Who are you, ghost?
The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows.
What is down the shore?
Urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs. Cinder blots left over from half-finished construction. A defunct research and development building, once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water.
And beyond that?
Coal City, end of all lines.
Right. Run your fingers through your dampened hair.
Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise somewhere in the distance.
Yeah, so I definitely need a wash. Anyway, what's in the east?
The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide.
Clench your teeth to stop shuddering, shake your shoulders again. I don't know whether shuddering is a bad thing, or whether it's like a natural response. So I'm gonna go with shake your shoulders again.
You shudder, looking down at your feet. Dirty rainwater runs veins into the plaza's snow. 2 green snakeskin shoes stand at attention on the mosaic paving of the plaza.
Alright, if I go do this again.
Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The greater Revachol industrial harbor is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadow.
And beyond that?
La Drusienne, King Dri's passenger harbor. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms. Cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary.
What is across the distributary?
Couronne, the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain.
What is beyond the Couronne?
A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide. You have never been there. They don't need the law east of the river.
What's in the north?
Capeside apartments. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls.
That's actually a hint that we might be able to find a gun that fits the ammo in the apartments. Maybe even in Kuno's apartment.
Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play. The evening news.
And closer to here?
A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. The lingering odor of decomposition mixes with that of damp soil.
I just want to check the east one again, because it said and beyond that, but there's also and before that. So let's try this again.
The great gate behind the gates.
And before that?
You, on the Martinez Plaza, a small dot looking up at the sky. Droplets form on your eyelashes.
And beyond.
La Drusienne.
And the distributary. Yep. Okay.
You have never been there.
What's in the south?
A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised.
What's on the other side?
The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock.
Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at?
Have a brother in the cut. Where the hood at?
That's a different voice. Huh.
Have a brother in the cut. Where the hood at?
I think that is the first time a thought has had a different voice. Because we've had Ancient Reptilian Brain, which has obviously had a voice, and that's been the voice of the corpse of the hanged man in the dream. And then there's the limbic system as well. But that's the first thought we have that's different. Okay. Why am I not there?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution failed.
What am I doing here?
Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland.
Gotta look further.
In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain. Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and blink.
What's above?
Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there, where rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears.
And what's below?
Collapsed storm drains, old sewage systems flooded with rainwater. Hidden weapon caches from the revolution, doors leading down to Le Royaume, the catacombs to which, for 3 centuries, They delivered the blue-blooded dead.
So it's interesting that it mentions the hidden weapon cache, because we've already found that. So I wonder whether Shivers is giving me tips to find things that I don't necessarily already know, and might even give a bonus to actually finding the thing itself. Alright. Motherfucker.
These spring thaw will not last. The winter will return to Revachol.